next one is Heiner.
Yes, thanks. Hello, everybody, and thanks for having me this afternoon. So just a second. All right. So yeah, my name is Heiner Stuckenschmidt. I'm a professor from the University of Mannheim. And yeah, I've been working in AI and doing research on AI for roughly 25 years now. So I like to say I already did AI before it was cool and everybody did it. So there are many topics I would like to talk about today, but as time is limited, I decided to focus today on trying to present to you some ideas that we had at the Institute for Enterprise Systems, where I'm director. So it's a transfer institute that whose mission is to do knowledge and technology transfer into the regional industry. And what I would like to talk about today is some ideas and some projects we had about applying AI in the area of smart cities and smart mobility. Because currently it's really in a very central topic for us, especially in terms of publicly funded projects. So somebody muted me. That was a bit strange. Okay, now I'm back. Yeah. So currently at the Institute, we are focusing on these three topics like digital business, mobility, and sustainability. And today I want to focus on mostly projects that are related to mobility in combination with smart city ideas. And I would like to mention three problem areas where we have ideas and implemented solutions with respect to using AI to solve these problems. So the first one is mobility in rural areas. So there are a lot of discussions these days when people talk about sustainability, that yeah, when you live in a big city, it's quite easy to not have a car or use the bus. But what about these people that live in rural areas? And as you can see on this map here, that is really a problem, right? Because there are really a lot of areas in Germany where the way to the next supermarket is longer than 1 hour by foot, right? And of course, you also need mobility solutions and logistics solutions for people living in those areas. Yeah. And the idea that we had in this project, so not only us, but also our partners, is that, well, on the one hand side, there are many people that are far away from the places where they get their stuff. But on the other hand, there are really many people that have to use the car every day, for example, to drive to work. So what about solving the problem of this first group of people by bringing together these two groups? And the idea is, what we did here in this Crowd My Region project is we developed a platform and an app that basically brings together customers in a so-called social delivery network with local suppliers, where people that use their car anyways can take up tasks to supply other people with grocery, for example. So how does it work? People that are potential deliverers of goods, they send information about their movements to a central server. There we use machine learning technologies to predict where people are probably going based on their past profiles and based on where other people with a similar profile went. And then we try to match requests for grocery delivery with the predicted destination of these people, and then bring together people that need grocery and people that move around and could deliver this stuff to people in need. So and that really worked out very well. So there's even a product now called the Marktfee app that got more users than expected. So we have to say, unfortunately, because the main driver was, of course, the Corona pandemic, where we had a really large demand for delivering stuff to people that are in special risk groups and that don't want to leave their homes. So that was quite a success there. We are currently working on a new project that's even fancier, where this idea of delivery networks is extended by the use of autonomous drones that pick up parcels from some central places and then like ride on certain cars or buses that drive along the rural areas, and at a certain point they do the final delivery to the customer. Okay, the second problem that we considered is urban logistics now. So the first problem was concerned with rural areas where you really have long distances people cannot easily pass. The problem we have in urban areas is the immense increase of parcel shipping, right? So this is the development and the predicted development in this area of parcel shipment, and everyone of you who lives in a city center like myself really know what that means. And so there's a high need for optimizing this so-called last mile logistics, especially because this last mile delivery really makes up a lot of the delivery costs. So there are studies that say that the last mile delivery causes almost 30% of the whole delivery cost, despite this very short distance. So there's really a big incentive to solve this problem, both for the logistics companies, but also for the people affected that live in this area, in these areas. Right? And so what we did here is we invented an idea that's called rendezvous delivery, that is based on the use of autonomous vehicles. And the idea here is that so typically this delivery person drives around with a car and then stops at every point where he has to deliver something. And what we do now is we use autonomous delivery vehicles that can drive independently from this person to a certain rendezvous location. So the idea is now that this person takes some parcels, the delivery van goes forward to the next rendezvous point, and this person now delivers parcels along the street here, and then they meet again and drive to the next location. And there are AIs used at 2 points. First of all, of course, in the autonomous vehicle, but also in the planning of the trip, like which parts should be done independently and which parts this person should be driving the delivery van. Okay, I'm speeding up. Third problem we are addressing is on-street parking in inner cities. So yeah, I don't have to explain much about the problem. You can see it on the picture here. There are far too many cars driving around in city centers searching for a parking spot. And what we've been working on in this context is AI-based dynamic pricing of parking space, where we train this, where we train a machine learning model to dynamically choose a pricing strategy that reduces traffic and congestion in the city center. And there we did some very nice simulation studies. So you see a picture here of the simulation that we built. And those of you who know Mannheim immediately recognize the similarity to the city center in Mannheim. So the idea is, what we do is we have a reinforcement learning agent that determines a pricing strategy. This pricing strategy is used in the simulation, and then the simulation state is fed back to the machine learning model as a feedback for improving this pricing strategy. And that really gives very interesting profiles. So you can see down here that that's a pricing strategy that has been learned, where you see these different prices for different parking areas in the city center. And that's really something that we want to pursue further in the future. 2 more slides and then I'm done. So the nice thing about these ideas, especially about the parking, is that this will not remain a research project, but we are part of the Smart City Model City project in Mannheim, where the city of Mannheim will really implement some AI technologies in the city as part of their smart city strategy. And there we will have the chance to really implement some of these ideas in the city center of Mannheim, around the city center, and as part of the Buga, like the Bundesgartenschau, which takes place in Mannheim next year. And of course, you're all welcome to visit Mannheim next year for the Buga and have a look at what we could really do in terms of bringing AI really into the city. So thanks for your attention, and if there are questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Heiner, for your presentation. I would like to ask you about mobility and AI-based models, right, related to mobility. Since the behavior patterns have changed dramatically when it comes to mobility in the very last years, due to Corona, due to the Ukraine war and the gasoline prices, there is no historical data available because, again, the mobility schemes have changed dramatically. Do you see the risk? Do you see the challenge when it comes to mobility? Can you still rely on historical data?
I think we can to a certain extent. I mean, it's pretty clear that we cannot just use a training data set from 2020 and just learn a model and go with it for the next 5 years. But that's the situation that you can almost never. So using AI and using data and training machine learning models is, in my opinion, never a one-shot thing, right? So you always have to retrain your model on new data that you get in order to always keep up to the new developments and don't miss radical changes in the trends or something. So really see this as a continuous learning task. Yeah. And we are also working on special algorithms that really train on real-time streaming data, so that you really take new data that is generated on the spot as an input to modify the learned models.
But wouldn't you say that the volatility we're facing towards data the very last years is unparalleled? Wouldn't you say that?
Predictions are difficult, especially about the future, right? And so, I mean, so we see. I mean, as I said before, I'm living here in the city center, so certain patterns have clearly not changed, right? I mean, on Friday afternoon, there's always traffic jam. On Saturday mornings, you always see many number plates that they're not from Mannheim. So I think the really basic phenomena stay the same, but of course you always have to be aware of special situations, both on short term, like special events, like an ice hockey match, or and of course also long-term events, like so currently we have two very special things in Mannheim. First of all, there was a big tunnel that was blocked for some time, so that really led to a lot of changes in the traffic, and also now the city is testing new ways to reduce traffic by just blocking streets on the weekend. So and these things will of course have long-term effects, because people learn that it's not a good idea to come by car on Saturday morning and this kind of stuff. But I think you always have to be able to deal with these short-term and long-term changes in the behavior.
Thank you very much for your time and for your statements. Have a nice day.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.